Stories and Documentary Network.
For millennia, the historical narrative of Africa was primarily an oral tradition, passed down through generations by griots, the storytellers of the continent. The absence of written records until the 10th century led Europeans to mistakenly believe that sub-Saharan Africa had no recorded history. It was during the Arab expansion across the Sahara that written accounts of Africa's past began to emerge. While documents in the Arabic language dating back to 970 Anno Domini have been unearthed, they remained largely unknown to Europeans for centuries. These written records, discovered in more recent times, validate many aspects of the oral histories transmitted through generations. Despite this progress, significant gaps persist in our understanding of African civilizations before contact with Arabs and Europeans. Nevertheless, historical evidence reveals the emergence of remarkable empires in sub-Saharan Africa, such as the Ghana Empire, the Mali Empire, and the Songhai Empire. These civilizations signify the culmination of cultural development spanning thousands of years, underscoring the richness and complexity of Africa's history.
The Ghana Empire, a flourishing civilization in West Africa, thrived from the 6th to the 13th century Common Era. Contrary to its present geographical namesake, the Ghana Empire occupied the western Sudan savanna region, encompassing modern-day southern Mauritania and Mali. This strategic location placed it between the Sahara Desert to the north and the lush rainforests to the south. The prosperity of the Ghana Empire was intricately tied to its advantageous position, abundant resources, and robust trade networks. The region boasted ample reserves of iron, copper, gold, and ivory, and its proximity to the Niger and Senegal rivers, along with their tributaries, facilitated extensive trade. The capital, Kumbi Saleh, served as the seat of Ghana's kings, who amassed great wealth by accumulating exclusive stockpiles of gold nuggets. The opulence of the Ghana Empire resonated far beyond its borders, capturing the imagination of North Africa and Europe. It earned a reputation as a legendary land of gold, drawing admirers from distant lands. However, the empire faced challenges that led to its decline starting in the 12th century Common Era. Factors such as drought, internal conflicts, the redirection of trade routes, and the ascendance of the Soso kingdom contributed to the weakening of the Ghana Empire. Subsequently, it paved the way for the rise of the Mali Empire, marking a significant chapter in the dynamic history of West Africa. The Ghana Empire began when the Saniki people joined forces to resist the raids of pastoral nomads. Nomads herding animals in the fringes of the desert, the Sahel, posed a threat to the early Saniki who lived south of the Sahara as agriculturalists. During times of drought, the nomads would raid the villages to the south in search of water and pastures for their herds. To protect themselves from these raids, the communities of African farmers joined forces, possibly to form a loose federation of states that eventually became the Kingdom of Ghana. The Sudan region of West Africa, distinct from the contemporary state with a similar name, has been inhabited since the Neolithic period. This historical legacy is evident in the Iron Age tumuli, megaliths, and remnants of abandoned villages that dot the landscape. The Niger River, a pivotal element in shaping the region where the Ghana Empire would later emerge, periodically inundated the dry grasslands and savanna, creating fertile grounds for agriculture over 3,500 years ago. The region's consistent annual rainfall further facilitated successful cultivation. Agriculture in this vibrant ecosystem included the cultivation of cereals such as red-skinned African rice and millet, complemented by the growth of pulses, tuber and root crops, oil and fiber plants, and various fruits. Fishing and herding practices, involving cattle and goats, contributed significantly to the diverse array of food sources available. The name, Ghana, likely originates from a local title signifying king. The region's rich natural resources, including copper deposits, were harnessed for trade. Archaeological evidence points to a long history of metalworking in the area, dating back to at least the 6th century Common Era. The discovery of fine pottery, some of which was traded across the region, underscores the interconnectedness of West African communities, as confirmed by chemical analyses of the clay. While gold was likely locally mined or panned and traded along the region's waterways, concrete evidence from this early period remains elusive. The scarcity of written sources and limited archaeological findings have shrouded the history of the region and the Ghana Empire before the 11th century Common Era in ambiguity. However, the 21st century has witnessed a surge in archaeological discoveries, significantly enhancing our understanding of West African history. It is now acknowledged that the antiquity and scope of West African trade were more extensive than previously believed, shedding light on the fascinating complexities of this ancient and culturally rich region. The precise origins of the Ghana Empire, also known as the Kingdom of Ghana, remain elusive, with potential roots dating back to the 6th century Common Era, although concrete evidence of a formal political structure emerges later. The zenith of the empire is generally recognized to have occurred between the 9th and 11th centuries Common Era. The nomenclature, Ghana, likely finds its roots in a local title denoting royalty. The Ghana Empire predominantly comprised the Soninke people, alternatively known as Serikole, who spoke Mande, or Mandingo. Geographically, they inhabited the expansive savanna region nestled between the Niger River to the southeast and the Senegal River to the southwest. This triangular expanse, flanked by these rivers and the Sahara Desert to the north, became the natural canvas for the Ghana Empire's development, encompassing present-day southern portions of Mauritania and Mali. Central to the empire's core was the Soninke people, and the geographical region they occupied is often referred to as Wagadu in indigenous oral traditions. Additionally, Muslim geographers termed this area Wangara, denoting the Middle Niger. The intricate interplay of rivers, grasslands, and the desert not only shaped the physical landscape but also laid the foundation for the unique socio-political and economic dynamics that characterized the Ghana Empire. The rich cultural tapestry of the Soninke people, their linguistic identity, and the strategic positioning within this geographical triangle collectively contributed to the rise and prominence of the Ghana Empire in West African history. The probable capital of the Ghana Empire, identified as Kumbi Saleh in the absence of compelling alternatives, stands as a historical marvel located approximately 322 kilometers, 200 miles, north of present-day Bamako, Mali. Previously underestimated in size, recent excavations have illuminated the grandeur of this ancient city. Contrary to medieval Arab descriptions suggesting a population of 40–50,000, the reality appears even more expansive, with the city sprawling across an impressive 110 acres, 45 hectares. Additionally, numerous smaller settlements surround the capital, revealing a more intricate urban landscape than previously envisioned. Archaeological findings have uncovered essential features of Kumbi Saleh, including a significant mosque, a spacious public square, remnants of a circuit wall, and a monumental gateway. The dwellings, typically single-story structures, were constructed with materials such as mud-dried bricks, pounded earth, wood, and stone, a testament to building techniques rooted in the region's prehistoric traditions that persist in contemporary usage. Notably, al-Bakri, an Arab traveler who visited towards the end of the empire's existence in 1076 Common Era, provided insights into the city's richness. He described Kumbi Saleh as encompassing the king's palace, along with a series of domed dwellings enclosed within a protective barrier resembling a city wall. The cityscape extended to include domed buildings, groves, and thickets where the religious leaders, or sorcerers, of the community resided. Within these sacred spaces were idols and the tombs of the kings, underscoring the intertwining of religious and political facets within the heart of the Ghana Empire's capital. Furthermore, al-Bakri highlighted the presence of wells and irrigated fields surrounding the capital, fostering the growth of various vegetables, a testament to the city's strategic planning and agricultural prowess. Functioning as a federation of villages under a unified monarch, the Ghana Empire thrived due to a combination of strategic advantages. Its prosperity was sustained by a well-trained army equipped with cavalry units and access to crucial raw materials, including abundant iron ore for weapon production and lucrative gold deposits to compensate soldiers. Notably, the Sudan region accorded high status to blacksmiths and forgers, emphasizing the importance of metallurgical skills. The superiority of the Soninke people, central to the Ghana Empire, was further heightened by their possession of camels, invaluable for transporting goods and people. Armed with these advantages, the empire expanded its influence by annexing new territories and extracting tribute from subdued tribal chiefs. This ascendancy allowed the Ghana Empire to monopolize local and regional trade. At the helm of this formidable political entity was an absolute monarch, the Ghana king, who assumed roles as the head of justice and religion. Cultivating a mystique around the ruler, partly owing to their leadership in the animist religion, rituals, sacrifices, and libations were conducted in the king's honor. Strict etiquette surrounded the king's presence, and upon their demise, a sacred grove housed the monarch's tomb, inaccessible to ordinary individuals. Al-Bakri, a perceptive traveler, depicted the Ghana king with vivid detail. Adorning themselves in ornate fashion, the king wore necklaces, bracelets, and a distinctive high cap embellished with gold, wrapped in fine cotton turbans. The king's entourage included 10 pages bearing shields and swords adorned with gold, with vassal king's sons standing on their right, bedecked in splendid garments and gold-plated hair. Despite the aura of absolute rule, the Ghana king relied on advisors. In a notable shift from the 11th century Common Era onwards, Muslim merchants were recruited to serve as interpreters and officials. These individuals played pivotal roles in managing the economy and monitoring the flow of goods in and out of the country, showcasing the empire's adaptability and willingness to incorporate diverse expertise into its governance structure. Establishing its dominance over Central West African trade in the upper reaches of the Niger River from the 6th or 7th century Common Era, the Ghana Empire orchestrated a highly lucrative enterprise. The kings of Ghana presided over a strategic control of regional commerce, managing a thriving network that involved the exchange of coveted commodities such as gold, ivory, hides, ostrich feathers, and slaves. These valuable goods were conveyed to Muslim merchants, with a notable role played by the Sanhaja Berbers, who organized camel caravans traversing the Sahara from North Africa. These caravans, pivotal for the Ghana Empire's economic prosperity, brought a precious commodity to the south: salt. Trade transactions within the empire were subject to double taxation, imposed upon entry and exit. The Ghanaian kings adeptly leveraged this system to amass wealth, establishing a formidable economic foundation. Beyond the revenues derived from trans-Saharan trade, the empire capitalized on its indigenous resources. The fields of Bambik, renowned for their rich deposits of iron ore and gold, served as a crucial source of wealth. The elite class exchanged these precious resources for luxury goods, including fine textiles, beads, copper, and horses, supplied by Arab traders from the northern regions. In addition to gold, another unique commodity currency within the Ghana Empire was copper wiring. This versatile resource further underscored the economic sophistication of the empire. To solidify their authoritative position, the kings of Ghana implemented a policy forbidding anyone other than themselves from owning gold nuggets, restricting merchants to dealing in gold dust. This not only showcased the monarch's supremacy but also enabled control over the gold market. The deliberate limitation of gold circulation aimed to prevent devaluation, ensuring its sustained value over time. The intricate economic strategies employed by the Ghana Empire exemplify its adept navigation of regional and trans-Saharan trade dynamics, establishing a legacy of economic prowess in the heart of West Africa. The dissemination of Islam across the region unfolded through the interactions of Muslim merchants with local traders and the urban elite. Leaders, perhaps recognizing the advantages of embracing or at least tolerating the religion, acknowledged its potential benefits for trade. Notably, within the Ghana Empire, there is no conclusive evidence indicating the conversion of kings to Islam. Instead, a nuanced approach emerged, epitomized by the division of Ghana's capital, Kumbi Saleh, in the mid-11th century Common Era. Kumbi Saleh was intricately partitioned into two distinct towns during this period. One town, predominantly Muslim, boasted an impressive array of 12 mosques. In contrast, the other, situated a mere 10 kilometers away and connected by numerous intermediate structures, served as the royal residence. This latter town retained its ties to traditional beliefs, housing various cult shrines alongside a singular mosque designated for visiting merchants. This spatial division encapsulated the coexistence of indigenous animist practices with Islam, underscoring a complex syncretism that persisted within the urban landscape. This dual town arrangement reflected a strategic blending of religious traditions, with the royal residence maintaining its adherence to indigenous animist beliefs. These animist practices, deeply rooted in rural communities, continued alongside the introduction and propagation of Islam. The nuanced approach adopted by the Ghana Empire allowed for a harmonious cohabitation of diverse religious influences, illustrating the pragmatic and inclusive nature of the empire's socio-religious fabric. The initial signs of decline for the Ghana Empire emerged in the mid-11th century Common Era. Around 1076 Common Era, the capital faced a devastating setback when it was sacked by the Almoravids, a North African dynasty that thrived from approximately 1055 to 1147 Common Era. This aggression might have been sparked by the Ghana rulers' attempts to encroach on the trade routes controlled by Saharan commercial centers. Although there are suggestions of the imposition of Muslim rulers by the Almoravids, concrete evidence for a full-scale conquest remains elusive. Compounding the challenges, pivotal towns like Adagost, established in 1055 Common Era, were lost to the Ghana kings. This loss permitted Berber merchants to gain direct control over more of the region's trade, further undermining the economic foundations of the empire. The Ghana Empire entered a more pronounced phase of collapse in the 12th century Common Era. Factors contributing to this decline included the opening of competing trade routes to the east and an extended period of unusually dry climate adversely affecting agricultural productivity. Internal strife escalated as the empire grappled with a series of civil wars, possibly rooted in the inherent conflicts between Muslim and animist beliefs. Concurrently, numerous rebellious chiefs exploited the weakened central government to declare independence from the empire. Tekrer, in the western Sudan region, notably controlled the Senegal River and formed an alliance with the Almoravids. The mantle of the disintegrating Ghana Empire passed to the Kingdom of Soso, also known as Susu, around 1180 to 1235 Common Era. The collapse of the Almoravids in the mid-12th century Common Era contributed to Soso's ascendancy. However, this kingdom proved short-lived, as its ruler, Sumanguru, Sumauro Kante, reigning from around 1200 Common Era, was defeated by Sundiata Keita in 1235 Common Era. Sundiata not only overcame Soso but also seized the old Ghana capital in 1240 Common Era. This marked the genesis of the Mali Empire, a transformative African power that emerged as the largest and wealthiest empire on the continent. The Soninke Griots, skilled oral historians, offer a unique perspective on their history, placing little emphasis on the Almoravids, Soso, or even Mali. Instead, they perceive Ghana as the third iteration of their civilization, referred to as Wagadu. Each of these civilizations met its demise due to human error, and for Ghana, the fatal flaw was identified as greed. This interpretation might allude to events such as the capture of Adagost, unifying the Berbers against the Soninke. Alternatively, the Soninke's reference to greed could encompass the sheer size of the Ghana Empire, at its zenith roughly equivalent to the size of Texas, exceeding manageable proportions and contributing to its downfall. Within the oral tradition, the story of Ghana's founding is intertwined with the narrative of its demise. It begins with Dinga, or his son, who established the empire through a compromise with a snake, involving an annual sacrifice of a virgin and a filly. In the year of Ghana's defeat, the Griots recount the selection of Shah for the sacrifice due to her exceptional qualities in beauty, grace, chastity, and cleanliness. This choice, however, created a conflict as Shah was already engaged to an orphaned man with a questionable character. The ensuing turmoil led to Shah's fiancé attempting to kill the snake. Before the snake's demise, it cursed Ghana with 7 years and 7 months of drought. This catastrophic event forced the Soninke to disperse in all directions to survive. While the drought may have had a real-world basis, the Griot's story, rich in talking animals and supernatural elements, shouldn't be dismissed outright. Beyond historical accuracy, it imparts a moral lesson: the preservation of tradition and the perils of neglecting it. The tale of Shah, her fiancé, and the snake encapsulates the importance of preserving tradition and the risks of deviating from it. This narrative underscores a fundamental key to Ghana's success: the maintenance of traditionalism. Just as the kingdom faced consequences due to Shah's fiancé's selfishness, the Ghana Empire might have suffered if its leaders or merchants had chosen a self-centered path, such as converting the pagans against the prevailing traditional beliefs. The story, while potentially considered folklore, imparts a moral message, serving as a cultural touchstone that conveys the wisdom of upholding tradition amid challenges.
In conclusion, the history of the Ghana Empire stands as a testament to the rich and complex tapestry of West African civilizations. From its probable origins in the 6th century Common Era to its zenith between the 9th and 11th centuries Common Era, the Ghana Empire flourished as a strategic center of trade, culture, and political power. Its capital, Kumbi Saleh, revealed the grandeur and sophistication of this ancient civilization, with recent archaeological discoveries shedding light on its expansive urban landscape. The Ghana Empire's success was deeply rooted in its advantageous geographic location, abundant resources, and robust trade networks. The Sonic people, central to the empire's core, played a pivotal role in its rise, and their intricate interplay with the geographical features of the region shaped the socio-political and economic dynamics of the empire. As a federation of villages under an absolute monarch, the Ghana Empire demonstrated adaptability and inclusivity in its governance structure. The incorporation of Muslim merchants in key administrative roles showcased the empire's willingness to leverage diverse expertise for its benefit. However, the Ghana Empire faced challenges in the form of external invasions, changing trade routes, and internal conflicts. The devastating sack by the Almoravids in 1076 Common Era marked a turning point, and by the 12th century Common Era, a combination of factors led to its decline. The rise of the Sasso Kingdom and, ultimately, the Mali Empire marked a transformative chapter in West African history. In exploring the history of the Ghana Empire, we gain insights into the resilience and adaptability of ancient African civilizations. As we delve into the archaeological and historical records that continue to unveil the mysteries of the past, we appreciate the importance of acknowledging and preserving the diverse narratives that contribute to our understanding of human history. Don't forget to explore more about the fascinating histories of civilizations like the Ghana Empire, and if you found this information valuable, like, share, and subscribe for more historical insights.